Yeah, it was a very interesting discussion. I must state for the record that I've been, a part of Ari's world for many years. So it's just always a pleasure to see him and to get this knowledge, which is so priceless. So in our group, we had, it was Jane, the BBG Forum connector. We had Michael Perkins. We had Pina Bernardi and John Fowler. So I'll just take a few points that each of them made and just sum it up briefly. The first interesting point was made by Jane, where she said that on a couple of calls recently, while Ari was speaking, she got the idea that she was almost being bullied and railroaded in these conversations, and their CEOs had forced them to get onto these calls, and I think she had a few light bulb moments where if she had used the languaging that Ari expressed or spoke of, it would have been easier to handle those conversations. An interesting point that Pina made was she's a mortgage broker, and obviously, they get paid by the banks, so they don't really charge the person who's sitting in front of them. And, so that led down the path of differentiation. And again, back to what Ari said about creating an authority statement and being an authority of one in what you do, and really looking deep within not only yourself but within your business, and really trying to identify what your true offering is, and then living by that offering, so that is how you can express your business very, very quickly. Something that we also had John Fowler in our group, and as I said to him, something he spoke of resonated very much with me, which Jane, you just asked about it right at the end of the call, and we refer to it as imposter syndrome, right? So John's in the IT industry, and on the sales side of things, and his issue is that he's not very technical, and often he finds himself in a bit of hot water where there'll be very tech savvy people on the other end of the line, and he can't really answer the questions to a level of satisfaction that he's I suppose feels satisfied within himself. And I just explained that I had the very same issue, because I was always in the world of product, sports watches and jewelry, and shipping product, and then found myself in the world of finance and co-founded a fintech, a buy now pay later fintech. So all of a sudden I was thrust into this world of banking and numbers, and that was just never my department. I was always the connector and trade shows, buying and selling and sourcing products and all of that. But it was Ari's method, and Ari knows this because I've spoken to him many times about it, that just gave me the confidence, because at the end of the day, it's exactly as Ari says, it's about diagnosing the problem of the person in front of you and understanding what they need, and creating the trust where they do not think you're trying to sell them. And if that's the dialogue, and there's a good fit, and it's a dialogue, it's a conversation, it's not a sales call, then that you don't get that, for want of a better word, you don't get bullied. It's a two-way conversation on how problems can be resolved. And I must say that, and I'll close off here, without having been through that process with Ari, I don't know how I would have ever had the confidence or the know-how to deal with a lot of those calls, particularly in the beginning with venture capitalists who do not go easy on you. So there were a lot of good takeouts, and I must just say that everybody loved the message and the whole idea of the trust-based sales methodology.
Beautiful.